A European Union and Eurozone member country, Cyprus is ideal to live and invest in. Cyprus. Invest with confidence.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror.tv Cyprus Report, sponsored by the Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency. The most expensive cities in the world are Oslo, Zurich, Copenhagen, Geneva, Tokyo and New York. But Nicosia is not too far off, according to a purchasing power survey by Swiss banking giant UBS. The Cypriot capital ranks halfway at 37th among the 73 cities surveyed, just a notch below Tel Aviv, Istanbul, Lisbon and Athens, but a notch above Sydney, Doha and Shanghai, according to the 38th edition of the UBS Prices and Earnings Report. Once rents are also taken into account, life in New York, Oslo, Geneva and Tokyo is particularly expensive. The comparison is based on a standardized basket of 122 goods and services, plus information on salaries and working hours in 14 professions across 73 cities in the world. The 48th Annual Wine Festival held in Limassol opens on Friday, August the 28th, and will continue till September the 6th at the Municipal Park, with the participation of the town's 4 wineries. Host, Mayor Andreas Christou said the festival is a special event for the town, adding that a rich program of events including music, theatre and dance groups is scheduled for this year. According to Christou, a float carrying men dressed in the Cypriot traditional costume, the vraga, will be travelling all around the island offering free wine and promoting the wine festival. Meanwhile, it was announced that this year's vine harvest is expected to drop by 3 million kilos. Wine Products Council Officer Andreas Kyriagidis said 29 million kilos of grapes will be collected from Cypriot vineyards this year, of which 19 million will go for wine production. The total harvest for 2008 was 32 million kilos, of which 22 million were processed for wine. The medieval castle in Paphos Harbour has been closed to visitors to allow for workers to erect the stage and stands of this year's opera, Lakmi, to be performed by the National Opera of Sofia on September the 4th, 5th and 6th. Paphos Mayor Savas Vergas is confident that this year's 11th annual opera will be just as successful as last year's Madame Butterfly, leaving its mark on the world culture scene, as the town steams ahead with plans to host the European Cultural Capital in 2017. Verkas, who also chose the organizer, Paphos Aphrodite Festival Company, said that although Leo Delipi's opera Lakmi is not as popular as last year's opera, he feels confident that the 2,400 seat capacity will be sold out, with sales so far at the same levels as this time last year. Tickets are being sold from 35 to 80 euros. Tourism arrivals fell for the 8th consecutive month in July, as arrivals of tourists fell by 11.2% over the year earlier to reach 304,126, compared with 342,554 in July 2008. The largest market was the UK, with 155,901 arrivals, followed by Russia with 23,653 arrivals. However, both of these markets saw a decline compared with the year earlier. Arrivals from the UK fell by 16.8%, while arrivals from Russia fell by 15.6%. For the period January-July 2009, arrivals of tourists totaled 1,187,128, compared with 1,332,406 in the corresponding period 2008, recording a decrease of 10.9%. Revenue from tourism in Cyprus fell by 14.8% to 232.5 million euros in July, compared with 273 million euros in the corresponding month the previous year. The Inland Revenue Department announced that revenue in the first 7 months fell by 11% year-on-year to 901 million euros, due to the significant decline in revenue from capital gains tax, which slumped by 81%, owing to the decline in demand in the property market. Property sale contracts announced by the Land Registry departments were also down by 55.7%, supporting the decline in property-related revenues. On the other hand, income tax from employees and corporation tax increased by 15.5% and 23.9% respectively. The International Monetary Fund says the global crisis is beginning to affect Cyprus, with its economy slowing down and risks increasing, as it anticipates GDP to reach 0.3% in 2009 and 1.1% in 2010. As far as fiscal policy is concerned, the IMF expects fiscal deficit to reach 3.9% and 5.9% of GDP in 2009 and 2010, respectively, whilst public debt is estimated to advance to 55.6% in 2010. The IMF estimates are lower than those of the Ministry of Finance, which expects a fiscal deficit of 2.9% and 4.2% in 2009 and 2010, respectively. Cyprus officially recorded a recession in April-June as GDP contracted over the previous period for the second quarter in a row. According to the latest flash estimate from the Statistical Service, real GDP, seasonally adjusted, contracted by 0.5% in the second quarter, having shrunk by 0.6% in the first quarter. The economy thus met the recession criterion of 2 consecutive quarters of quarter-on-quarter decline. Meanwhile, Cyprus recorded another sharp fall in July in the number of motor vehicle registrations, dropping by 25% year-on-year, having fallen by 18.7% in June and 30.5% in May. The number of registered private saloon cars fell by 22.4% to 23,503, from 30,304 in January-July 2008. Thanks for watching FinancialMirror.tv.
A European Union and Eurozone member country, Cyprus is ideal to live and invest in. Cyprus has a transparent and robust economy, well-educated professionals, attractive taxation and growth potential in several sectors. Cyprus. Invest with confidence.